When I was a preschool music teacher, one thing that I noticed was that music time was just that, only music time. Today I want to talk about how we can transform music time into music education time. Hi, I'm Adrian Edward, and I help preschool, kindergarten, and first grade teachers offer great music education to their classrooms. Today I want to talk about a couple of simple tips or hacks, if you want, about how you can transform that already existing music time, right? Because we always do music and movement. We do a lot of singing, a lot of kind of walking and dancing and things like that. But really transforming it and laying the foundation for real music education, right? Teaching them how to read a score, right? How to learn about music terminology that will eventually become them being able to read, write, and actually play an instrument. And so one of the first things you can do that's very, very simple when you sing songs like Mary Had a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle or ABCs or anything like that, you can count off, right, rhythmically, just like a drummer would. You would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start singing. Now, I sometimes like to say 1, 2, ready, go, or 1, 2, 3, go. Any of those work really well. And again, like a drummer, I say, like you see a drummer in a rock band, they go 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Essentially, that's exactly what you're doing. And the reason we do that is because we want to establish tempo, right? Tempo is simply how fast or how slow a piece of music or a song is. And that's why the drummer does it, and that's why we want to do it with our students. Then later we can teach the concept of tempo, but they'll already have experienced it. So you can ask them, hey, let's start the song a little quicker. You can go 1, 2, ready, go. Or, hey, let's do that a little slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that lays that foundation of later when you talk about tempo, they already have that as part of their memory. Also, you can talk about quarter notes and rhythmic values on notes, because that's exactly what we're counting. And in case you don't know, a quarter note is first of all, it looks like this, and it simply is 1 beat per note. So that would be the 1, 2, 3, 4. Each time I have that beat, those are quarter notes, right? They're 1 beat each. And again, you lay that foundation. It doesn't have to be all at once, but little nuggets go building up, little building blocks, and eventually it'll make more and more sense. That's just one thing you can do. Another thing that's really simple to do is teach them more about each instrument. Now, if your preschool or kindergarten or first grade classroom is anything like my classroom was, there's always instruments. There's a bucket of instruments. You have shakers and maracas and rhythm sticks and sometimes claves and a xylophone, tambourine, things like that, little drums. What you can do is highlight one of those instruments per week, right? Let's say the maracas. And so you would talk a little bit about the maracas, make sure they know that's what they're called. Show them a video of somebody playing those maracas really well so they can see that it's not just a toy, right? It's an actual musical instrument that keeps time, keeps rhythm, and you can do that every week with a different instrument. You'd be amazed at how many instruments a student can absorb. I've had students that remember up to 40 instruments, and we're talking about the clarinet, the oboe, the French horn, not just like a piano and a guitar, but you can really go in depth and you'll be blown away by how by the time they're in kindergarten or first grade, they can identify pretty much every instrument in an orchestra, a rock band, a jazz band, a salsa band, anything like that. So instruments for sure. And then finally, for today, one last thing I want to talk about are recitals, right? Planning for recitals. Even if they're not playing yet, just planning towards something, right? So have each student choose their favorite song and then choose a date, make a big thing about it in the school or in your class, right? Have them draw little posters and say, okay, our class is going to have, put on a concert. It could be for the holidays or it could just be, whenever. And then have those students perform for the class the song that they chose, right? It could be singing it could be with the shaker, it could be the maraca, but getting them used to, number one, performing in front of their friends, right? That's a great experience. Gaining that confidence, right, of performing. And also for those that aren't performing is supporting their friends, which is a big part of just social development and emotional development. And also just being a great friend, right? And supporting those even when it's not your turn, taking turns and all that. It just teaches us so much. So I hope that helps. Definitely use some of these tips. I promise you'll have a blast, and you don't even need to know music. It's just those small nuggets that go building over time. As always, we're here for any help. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips in the future, and I'll see you guys next time.